one! I just flipped Batman!
Booster Gold Origin Explored. Booster Gold is known as the greatest hero you've never heard of because of his time travel history. He's an insufferable glory hunter who only grows respectable, but not respected, over the course of a protracted character journey. He soon realizes that no one will ever know about his heroic acts, and hence he will never receive the praise he truly deserves. The tag also operates on a meta level. Booster Gold doesn't garner nearly as much attention as the golden trinity of Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and DC's massive output. With his 1950s retro futuristic attire and smarmy smirk, you'd assume that he was a toothpaste tie-in commercial. Booster, due to his George Costanza-style fumbling and amusing exploits, was a poor match for the New 52, which has seen even the most endearing heroes such as Superman and Supergirl go into unnecessarily grim terrain. Before we get too deep into our explanation, we do have a very small request though. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means quite a lot. Thank you. Now, let's begin. Comic book origin of Booster Gold. Michael Carter, aka Booster Gold, was born on the 29th of December 2442. On his first expedition, Michael became a superhero by stealing technology from the 21st century and saving the life of the President of the United States of America, who was Ronald Reagan at the time. This deed bought him instant recognition, which he raked in on to become pretty wealthy. Unfortunately, Booster's manager took most of his wealth, leaving him with only a small portion. Michael Carter and Michelle Carter, his sister, were born as twins in the famous Gotham City of the 25th century to a wonderful mother and a reckless father. On their 4th birthday, their father abandoned the family to pursue his real love, betting, leaving a massive gambling debt for the impoverished family. When Michael's mother was ailing from a terrible illness that required medication that his mother could not afford, he became a football player during his college years with the moniker Booster, aiming to make it to major leagues. Michael, like his father, turned to gambling and purposely threw matches in order to obtain enough money for his mother's treatment. After his mother was healed, Michael was caught and prosecuted for gambling, shattering his mother's heart. After being released from prison, Michael landed a position as a security guard at the Metropolis Space Museum, which was where he witnessed photographs of the 20th century superheroes who were legends in his day. Michael decided to alter his life and become a hero himself, so he took some relics from the exhibit as well as the guard robot Skeets and traveled back in time using Rip Hunter's time machine. As the new superhero Gold Star, he made his public debut there, saving Ronald Reagan from the Chiller. Michael, who was nervous, made an arrow on live TV and was saddled with the moniker Booster Gold instead. The 1986 Booster Gold comics reveal more about this unique superhero's fantastic origins. In the Booster Gold comic issue, The Big Fall, Booster Gold, our dazzling superhero, is Metropolis's newest guardian as well as Gold Star Incorporated's corporate mascot. He tries to build a reputation for himself in whichever way he can, including brokering movie agreements and products with his hovering robotic buddy Skeets. Booster is seen working out inside the Metropolis Athletic Club. He puts on his superhero suit and strides out into the streets as he finishes up. He climbs inside his limousine and chats with Dirk Davis, his Gold Star Inc. agent. A massive red combat tank rushes down the road, ramming many automobiles off the highway. Booster and Skeets take flight. Dozens of disguised terrorists stream out of the machine, including Blackguard, a massive armored villain. Booster discovers that Blackguard receives the satellite station's guiding system chips from Star Labs. The opponents start battling, but Blackguard uses his energy weapon and force shield to keep Booster away. He does, however, slow Blackguard down by maneuvering him into the way of a high-voltage electrical terminal. Booster returns the guiding chips to Star Labs after recovering them. When the press arrives, Booster publicly boasts about his success. Janet Clyburn, the administrator of Star Labs, rushes outside and chastises Booster for informing the public about their top-secret activities. All of a sudden, Booster Gold is attacked by a new masked villain dubbed Mind Dancer. She nearly knocks him out in front of a throng of reporters by unleashing a burst of energy. Meanwhile, a mysterious figure with a cane watches the press reports intently from a tall office facility several streets away. He is adamant about learning everything he can concerning Booster Gold. The details of his origin are once again continued in the comic's 6th issue, which is named To Cross the Rubicon. In Centennial Park Metropolis, a man named Jason Redfern discovers a little alien. When the extraterrestrial, dubbed Z, requests to meet Superman, Jason naturally takes him to Metropolis's most approachable heroic figure, Booster Gold. Trixie Collins is skeptical of the young man's claims, but Booster's precious cats named Jack and Jill track down the extraterrestrial and persuade her to think otherwise. Booster's conversation with Dirk Davis regarding the forthcoming Booster Gold graphic novel is abruptly cut short. Booster makes a new statement daring Superman to meet him near Baker Dam in order to draw him out. Superman appears, but he is very dismissive of Booster Gold. Skeets recounts Booster's origin tale to Superman in order to persuade him to help. However, this has quite the opposite impact on Superman with regards to motivating him into collaborating with Booster Gold. Superman and Booster engage in a screaming war to defend their different ideologies. Ramsey interrupts the discussion by warning them about incoming aliens. The heroes are crippled and seized by aliens before they can react. In Secret Origins, issue number 35, there were a few changes made in Booster Gold's origin storyline. He's still a star player who gambles on his games to help his mother pay for treatment. With the help of a man named Snake Eyes, he finds out his mother's condition is worsening. She needs a complex surgical procedure that will need to be done in zero gravity, which means it will happen on the moon, and he needs money to make it happen. When he discusses this with Snake Eyes, he's infuriated when he finds out that the people paying him for his games will squeal to the police if he refuses to extend his services to them for the foreseeable future, but he is able to pay for his mother's surgery. But his mother finds out about his unscrupulous activities when he is arrested and disowns him, prompting him to start a new life in a new city as a night watchman in a space museum. Here, he decides to redeem himself and gathers a special power suit that uses a unique weave and a microsuit to generate strength, some gloves, control bands, energy rods, a ring that helps him fly, and a force field belt that keeps bullets from killing him. All this helps him become a powerful new superhero. He goes to the past and, using his knowledge, buys stocks that make him rich, but unfortunately his agent steals most of his wealth. He plans on making more money by selling Justice League merch, he informs the Blue Beetle, but the Martian Manhunter arrives there and dissuades them. The Booster Gold comics in 2007 talks in detail about this superhero's interesting life. In the issue number 0, which was released in 2008, we start with a quick recap of Ted Kord's amazing rescue from the last issue. Booster Gold, Jamie, the original Blue Beetle, the current Blue Beetle, and the subsequent Blue Beetle are all zooming through time in the time sphere. We observe them speed past Extant while conversing with Parallax, in particular the Hal Jordan flavor. Parallax instantly entangles the time orb in green energy strands. According to Parallax, Booster Gold and the Blue Beetle were two of the fools that wrecked the GLA. The shackles of Parallax begin to break and shatter the temporal sphere. Ted remains in the time sphere as Booster Gold with the rest of the Blue Beetles escapes from the sphere. While the upcoming Blue Beetle and Jamie battle Parallax, Dan Garrett focuses on breaking the shackles. Extant and Booster Gold are at odds. Booster wonders why Extant is getting involved in all this. Extant claims to have lost someone important to him, and Parallax has vowed to bring that person back. After breaking Parallax's bonds, our heroes all jump back into the time sphere and try to escape. Extant, however, detects the 25th century on Booster and transports our heroes to the 25th century, where Extant's rift of draining entropy would soon obliterate it. Our superheroes crash land into Gotham City in the 25th century. Booster learns that this day is the day of the big match between his school, Gotham University, and Ohio State. Booster's father, a habitual gambler, begs him to toss the game so that he may pay off some of his betting loans. Booster, desperate for his father's affection, agrees. Booster's sister comes to see him that day, pleading with him not to toss the match for a father who will never appreciate him. Booster blows the game, ending his career as a professional football player and landing a job as a security guard in the Space Museum. Booster's sister ends up accompanying him back in time and becomes Goldstar, which eventually leads to her death. Booster believes if he pulls himself out of tossing the game, he will never become Booster and his sister won't die. Ted responds by stating that all of Booster's good will never be accomplished. Booster then determines that they can rescue his sister from death just like he did Ted. The conflict with Parallax as well as Extant has devastated our hero's time sphere. Booster, on the other hand, knows where they can acquire another time sphere. Booster sends our superheroes to the Space Museum in order to steal the identical time sphere that Booster utilized to get to the present day and begin his life as Booster Gold. Booster claims that once they return home, Rip will follow them again here with Rip's time sphere so that they may return it to the museum. The surveillance alarms go off, and Skeets with the rest of the security bots storm into the room, attacking our heroes. Our heroes board the time sphere and fly away. According to the future Blue Beetle, the time stream has been readjusted to account for Ted's escape. Things are beginning to fall back into place. The Blue Beetle from the future then claims that Jamie and Dan have forgotten they saved Ted's life. Ted praises Dan for his assistance, and Dan goes back to his own timeline. Ted then informs Jamie that he will be delighted to refer to him as the Blue Beetle, and Jamie is restored to his own timeline. The Blue Beetle of the future then informs Booster and Ted how valuable their relationship is, that he wishes them both good luck in the coming days. He can assure them that their trip is only getting started, and with that, the Blue Beetle from the future returns to his own timeline. Ted and Booster then return to Rip's lab. They discover that the property appears to have been plundered. When they adventure inside the lab, they notice that it has been surrounded by a group of OMACs, which marks the end of this issue. In Booster Gold, issue number 1,000,000, the chronology is reset now that Blue Beetle is no longer alive. Everybody returns to their original chronological position. Booster Gold and the Time Stealers, on the other hand, have no definite location in the current timeline, and Booster Gold flies forward, arriving somewhere within the 853rd century. For a while, he remains bewildered, but he witnesses a superhero named Peter Platinum battling a terror gang called the Sons of Polaris. Platinum recognizes him as the hero Booster Gold, a commercial moron from the 21st century. The revelation that he would be remembered as an idiot, along with the loss of Blue Beetle, puts Booster Gold in a difficult spot. Rip Hunter comes to pick him up, acquiring Peter Platinum's equipment in the process. Coming to the current day, Rip wishes to return to his job, but Booster refuses. The losses and anguish, as well as the certainty of his failure, have now hit him. Rip makes a decision to take action. Booster foils a Royal Flush Gang robbery while flying above Las Vegas. Green Arrow appears after they have been vanquished and charges him with organizing the entire incident. Booster departs in a fit of wrath. Batman requests to see him. Booster Gold chooses to break the news to him. He realizes he can't perform a decent job of heroing and has decided to quit. Batman drinks it all in, then offers him a collection of photographs produced from the film and the camera of Barbara Gordon on the evening she was paralyzed by the Joker. They had shown Batman images of Booster Gold, but he had no clue who he was, and even if he did, Booster was much too young. As a result, Batman waited. He emphasizes that Booster went over and above to see Barbara. People misjudged him, he acknowledges. Batman understands. However, if people believe you're an idiot or a lunatic, you can strike them while they're laughing. He offers to be a shoulder to lean on. Booster is encouraged by this and goes back to Rip Hunter to apologize. Another surprise awaits him here. Rip Hunter has rescued his sister, the heroic Goldstar. Rip reveals that time travel could not help Blue Beetle, but Goldstar was just an abnormality from the future, therefore there was leeway. Goldstar thinks that the both of them should have a meal in Paris in the year 1899 and watch them finish building the Eiffel Tower. Rip Hunter recognizes Booster as his father when he enters the time sphere. The plot then switches to the far future. We are informed in the form of a historical document about Rip Hunter, the finest of the Time Masters, and about how he fathered everyone who came after him save one. Another one of the Time Masters, Booster Gold, is widely considered an idiot and an nincompoop, and the people cannot comprehend how he got to be a part of that honorable organization. Booster, on the other hand, will bear the public humiliation as long as he is with his family. Amazing story of Booster Gold from Batman the Brave and the Bold. In the present day, Booster Gold became great friends with Blue Beetle, another superhero. They even managed to avoid a couple of death traps together, including one of the blood havens of Conqueror Cavemen. Booster Gold hired an agent who was named Manny and earned a reputation among several other heroes as someone who tried to become rich quickly. Acme Toys rejected his attempt to manufacture a figurine toy line modeled on himself. He attempted to sell the Booster Mobile, but Acme Toys was uninterested. The board advised him to gain name recognition by teaming up with an A-list superhero like Batman. Booster Gold approached Batman, who was less than pleased to see him. Undaunted, Booster Gold paid a visit to Batman inside the Batcave and learned he was keeping an eye on a fresh case. Booster Gold accidentally disclosed his robot companion Skeets was fueled by the highly desired plutonium element during the confrontation with Kroll the Eternal. Booster Gold ultimately battled for something besides pride and fame when Skeets was captured. During the last confrontation, Booster told Skeets to unleash all of his might. The Greenland meteorites' effect were undone and Kroll was vanquished. Kroll vowed vengeance on Booster Gold, unaware that they would cross paths again in the future. Booster Gold instantly reverted to his normal self and began marketing a movie agreement and merchandising line inspired by his collaboration with Batman, much to Batman's ire. In A Bat Divided, the Riddler kidnapped Skeets, Booster Gold, and Batman and made them play his insane game, Riddle Me This. Booster was the contender, and with each incorrect response, Batman received a zap of electricity. He answered every question incorrectly, as expected. It nearly led to Batman's death if he didn't end up escaping in time. Booster joined the struggle to destroy the Crazy Prince of Puzzles after being released from his shackles. In Siege of Sorrow, Batman linked up alongside Booster Gold on an operation in the 31st century after being unable to reach various allies. On October 3rd, they came to the present, alerting Brewster of a crucial historical event. Ace the Bat-Hound chased him away since he couldn't make any sense of it. When he realized that this was the Starro invasion, he transported back into the Batcave and assisted in the fight against the Faceless Hunter. Booster Gold was compelled to battle against their diseased companions after teaming up with numerous heroes. Before the Ragged Squad confronted Starro, Booster battled Blue Beetle single-handedly. He was hit by a Sugar and Spike diaper truck. Just after Starro invasion was thwarted, Booster Gold assisted in the removal and neutralization of Starro clones. Needing a quick distraction, Batman directed Booster Gold to travel to Magnus Laboratories and enlist the help of the Metal Men. He and Skeets returned to combat after defeating a corrupted Doc Magnus and rewiring Metal Men.
pretty good shot.
Shortly later, Booster Gold and a news team landed in Gotham City just as the site of the heist. Booster Gold wanted to pay Blue Beetle one last visit after discovering the bank robbers, the Madniks, were actually an old enemy of his. He and Skeets traveled 2 years back in time to assist Blue Beetle in defeating the Madniks. Booster Gold, on the other hand, blasted the Madniks' most recent quarry, which was the Cork Pistol. The Madniks were altered in an instant, unbeknownst to everyone. When Booster returned to the present, he found himself completely responsible for an apocalyptic siege. He and Batman traveled back in time to assist Blue Beetle in transforming the creatures back into Madniks. Beetle correctly reasoned that he could rescue the day by broadcasting energy pulses from Booster Gold's force field device into the opposite direction of the beasts. When Batman and Booster returned to the present, they headed for the bank robbers.
Corner piece. You mean this piece? All gone.
Batman persuaded Booster Gold to join the new Justice League International. Booster, on the other hand, was more concerned with keeping his PR informed and courting ice. He also immediately moved inside Hal Jordan's old quarters, developing a hostile rivalry with Guy Gardner while also becoming friends with the new Blue Beetle.
Oh, I got one! I just flipped Batman!
What makes Booster Gold so powerful? Booster Gold possesses no extraordinary talents. He is completely dependent on extraordinary technology he earned from the futuristic technology he requisitioned from the 25th century. Booster Gold owns a Legion flight ring, a force field belt from Brainiac 5, and a power suit. His high-tech power suit provides him with superhuman strength and wrist emitters that enable him to fire enormous force blasts as his primary assault weapon. He's had several different outfits since then, and his most recent one performs all of the same tasks as his first suit in technology. The garment increases his power, allowing him to lift over 200 tons without exertion. The outfit is extremely tough, withstanding gunshots without degradation. The suit also has a force field that can resist high-impact forces. The field may also filter the air from the atmosphere to remove pathogens and pollutants. While Booster Gold doesn't use his wristband blasters very frequently, his force fields are extremely powerful and have rescued him several times, and his blasters are shown to be capable of dissolving several feet of solid concrete. His gauntlets also let him produce an absorbing field that functions like a tractor beam, allowing him to grasp hold of items and maneuver them about or fling them at adversaries. This effect may be utilized as a single beam or as a broad beam. He is also capable of molecularly disturbing items such as welding them together. He also has time-traveling technology built into his outfit. Booster's vision and hearing are enhanced by his eyewear and futuristic technology. He can see the full electromagnetic spectrum, which includes but is not limited to infrared, ultraviolet, X-ray, and other wavelengths. The goggles also provide telescopic as well as microscopic vision, as well as protection against unexpected visual flashes and aural bombardment. His hearing may also be supercharged, enabling him to hear noises and frequencies that no other person can. For the most of his tenure in the 20th and 21st centuries, Booster has accompanied by Skeets, a museum guardian robot with extensive historical knowledge. Skeets also has been revealed to have offensive powers such as blasters resembling to Booster's gauntlets. Booster frequently consults Skeets' records to foresee future occurrences. Booster Gold's access to time travel technology is limited and hazy, and it's unknown what he used to return back to the 25th century after seemingly using the time sphere of Rip Hunter and getting to the 20th century in the first place. Skeets is also revealed to be capable of hacking into nearly any software system he comes across. Because Booster is of the future, he is well versed in his own history as well as that of ours. This implies that he occasionally predicts events in our future and has information that other superheroes may not have. Skeets' extensive historical knowledge also helps. Booster Gold occasionally travels across time inside the time sphere. Interesting facts about Booster Gold. The absurdity of time travel stories is part of the appeal. Rip Hunter is sent by an elder Booster Gold to train his earlier self to become a Time Master. However, the current Booster, the one we follow on Daily Crisis, is younger than his mentor Rip Hunter, and has no knowledge about Rip Hunter being his son, and has no idea that his previous self is engaged in molding his younger self. Developing accountability is a vital lesson, and Booster will have to confront that fact. Despite his good deeds, he still looted a museum to obtain his equipment. Rip Hunter surrenders Booster instead of Agent Broderick conducting the arrest or even Booster freely giving himself in. The purpose of this, according to an Elder Rip, is twofold: finally getting the government off their tails and getting Booster to grasp the repercussions. Rip Hunter's past is significantly revised in Legends of Tomorrow. Apart from the English accent, the most striking feature is that he appears to have no link to Booster Gold other than a few odd behavioral quirks. There is, however, one inadvertent reference. Rip Hunter's true name is revealed in the series to be Michael. Despite Booster and his team's heroics, Booster's irate father Jonar deemed his son a loser and would have traded his son's existence for his own release. This had a great effect on Booster, emphasizing why he wished to be a nicer guy. Peter Platinum is Booster's arch-enemy. The notion of solid time exists in the DC Comics. The past may be tweaked but not changed. Booster Gold intended to make history by saving Ted Kord's life. Rip Hunter wouldn't persuade Booster that it was all planned, so Rip felt that it was time for another harsh lesson. He said that Barbara Gordon was never intended to be paralyzed, that Booster had to defeat the Joker the evening she was assaulted. Despite having every edge, the Joker easily defeats Booster Gold. And despite his membership in the Justice League and Super Buddies, Booster Gold is one of just a few heroes who served in the Suicide Squad. Booster once drove while drinking and nearly killed the Flash in his own unique style. Booster Gold was intended to be more than simply a superhero storyline. Much like Animal Man by Grant Morrison, it was a reflection on the plot and the influence a comic character would have on an audience. Booster Gold was a sarcastic look at the consumerism during the Reagan era when the main exports were glamour and image. Booster Gold learns through clues, jaunts, and flash forwards that he will rescue the multiverse multiple times through various challenges and adventures. His reputation will be as famous as Superman's by the 31st century. At the heart of the Booster Gold is his approachability, coming-of-age tale that helps explain his strange beginnings. Booster denotes the transitional period between youth and maturity. Even though the Justice League despises him, this makes him highly accessible. He was the first ever original character introduced following the event of Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Crowd control. Who says you don't have a sense of humor?
Where else has he appeared? Along with Fire and Ice, Booster Gold appeared in the Justice League Unlimited animation. Blue Beetle, on the other hand, was unable to be featured in the program due to the copyright issues with Blue Beetle's 1940 show. Booster appeared in only one episode of the series, The Greatest Story Never Told. Booster is not widely liked in the League in this episode, allowing to a shallow, self-centered character. Things worsen as a new crisis threatens to ruin the globe, and Booster seems unable to convince anybody to help since they don't trust him. Booster is compelled to save everyone on his own, which he does. Booster also makes a brief appearance in the opening episode of Legion Superheroes scrubbing the museum floor alongside Skeets. Booster Gold first debuted in Smallville Season 10, Episode 18, Booster. Booster, played by Eric Martsolf from The Days of Our Lives, arrives from the coming times to become the world's greatest hero and dethrone Clark as Metropolis's beloved hero. Blue Beetle is also featured in this episode. Booster Gold, an egotistical and self-absorbed hero keen on becoming a superstar, is always ready to earn some fast cash, but when the chips are down, he generally comes out on top, proving that he does, in fact, have the spirit of a hero, although his shenanigans irritate his more traditional colleagues. And don't forget, if you liked our content, remember to leave a like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe, everyone. Thanks all.
Round 2.